Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Entrepreneur, and Deadpool 2 comes out tonight. Deadpool 2 comes out. I'm actually really excited about that one. Hopefully it's good. I don't get excited about movies very often, but the last movie was so funny, and it dawns on me, this isn't even my main channel. I'm talking to the wrong people. No, we're not here to talk about Deadpool 2 today, even though it looks funny, and hopefully it will be. We are here to talk about how Uber has actually made a really drastic and also very perplexing change to how riders rate you, the drivers, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this, so we're kind of going to be going through the article, and I guess we're going to be sorting this out together as a community. But before we get into that, here's a message from our sponsors. And today's video is sponsored by Maximo, the rideshare automation app that allows drivers to safely and easily accept ride requests for Uber, Lyft, and Postmates. Whether you drive for a single platform or multiple platforms, Maximo's custom settings can help you drive more efficient, less distracted, and help you maximize your earnings. It will automatically accept one trip, turn off the other apps, and when your trip is over, it will end it, open the other apps, and accept the next trip, all without you having to touch your phone. Use referral code APP60 and get your first month free when you subscribe to Maximo. Sponsors, thank you guys. You help keep the channel running. I know some people don't like the ads, but you know what? This is the economic reality of the world. They help pay the bills so that I can see movies like Deadpool 2. But anyway, let's talk about the story. And the story, and this blew my mind. Like, I read this and I was confused. I didn't know what to make of it, and I still really don't know what to make of it. So this is going to be one of those rare videos where I'm not going to be as assertive as I normally am. We are going to figure out what this means together. And that is the fact that Uber is now going to let passengers rate the driver mid-trip. Before the trip is over, the passengers can now rate you. Yeah, that's pretty big. And again, I don't know what I think about that. But according to The Verge, sometimes you know right away when your Uber driver is awesome. Or maybe they very quickly reveal themselves to be rather creepy. For those times, Uber will let you rate your driver and leave comments in the middle of a trip. Wait to rate no more. It's like a pop-up locked. Stop that. Uber is framing the change as a burning desire to hear your feedback. Quote, "You've got places to go and things to do, and we never want to miss an opportunity to listen and improve," the company says in a blog post. And so, as you can see, there's a little graphic here. And you can, now what's kind of nice about this is you can also leave, they're encouraging the feedback and they're encouraging the tip. So, okay, that's positive. That is a very positive thing. And they say, thanks, we're glad you're having an awesome ride. So on the positive side, Uber is definitely encouraging people to rate fairly. They're encouraging to rate to tip. And maybe this is also a way, because they know a lot of people, when they don't rate. They just don't. At the end of the ride, they put the phone in their pocket and they don't rate. And some of these people might even intend to rate you. Like, you might even be talking about the ratings. They're like, well, I want to give you 5 stars. And, you know, maybe they don't do it because they forget. And so, by giving the option to rate in the middle of the trip, guess what? You can rate them right there. Don't have to think about it. So, there are positives to this. Let's continue. Seems likely Uber is also trying to increase its rate of riders who rate, or grow the number of riders who rate their drivers and leave comments. More chances to rate, more riders rating, and more drivers subject to ratings-related anxiety. And this is where we're going to start getting into the bad part. And yeah, I've got some concerns about this as well. Don't think I'm completely on board with this. Users currently are asked to rate their drivers between 1 and 5 stars, as well as to choose from a group of pre-selected comments: good conversation, excellent service, yada, 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 at the end of the trip. Driver ratings are calculated based on the average rating of their last 500 rides, or total rides if they're less than 500. Consistent low ratings are flagged at Uber HQ, and drivers whose ratings fall below 4.6 risk deactivation, which we have discussed quite frequently on this channel. To get reactivated, Uber encouraged drivers to take costly improvement courses, which we have also discussed about on this channel, and I don't think they work very well. It doesn't appear that Uber is affording the same mid-trip privileges to its drivers. Last year, Uber updated its app to prompt drivers to give extra feedback to unruly riders. Drivers can choose from a pre-selected list of reasons to explain why they rated a passenger as less than 5 stars, but mid-trip rating won't be available because it could distract them from the important task of driving, an Uber spokesperson said. Moreover, the passenger could catch a glimpse of the bad rating on the driver's phone, and awkwardness would ensue. This is actually true, and it should also be noted, like, very clearly, that if you're an Uber driver, you really have to rate the rider. I mean, even with stacked trips and everything, you usually have to rate the rider before you can get the next person. So drivers rate way more frequently than riders do. Riders don't have to rate. They can use the service and never rate once. So, yeah, it makes sense that they wouldn't put the mid-trip rating for the drivers. It is distracting, and if you're going to rate them poorly, you wouldn't want to rate them before the trip is over. Like, I mean, I even have to hang sometimes because there are passengers I'm going to give a negative review to, and I kind of wait a few minutes because I have to get them out of the car because maybe they like me, I don't know, but I don't want them to see that I'm going to ding them. So, there's a dark side to the rating game. As The Verge's John DeZaza, I think that's, wrote in his seminal feature on the rating system, quote, "The rating system used by these companies have turned customers into unwitting and sometimes unwittingly ruthless middle managers, more efficient than any boss a company could hope to hire. They're always there, working for free, hypersensitive to the smallest error. All the algorithm has to do is tally up their judgments and deactivate accordingly. Ratings help these companies to achieve enormous scale, managing large pools of untrained contract workers without having to hire supervisors. It's a nice arrangement for customers to which get cheap service with a smile, even if it's an anxious one. But for the workers already in the precarious position of contract labor, making every customer a boss is a terrifying prospect. After all, we can be entitled jerks." And I'm going to put this back up to the picture of the feedback. We're just going to leave it there for all of you guys. Now, I've already discussed the positives of this. You might get more ratings. You might get more positives. If someone really likes you in the middle of the trip, they might decide to tip you right there on the spot rather than do it later when they're possibly going to forget about it, because when the trip is over, wherever they're going, they're busy. They have things to do. So that makes a lot of sense in a positive way. Here's where it can be negative in a very, very bad way. Let's say you pick someone up and you just dropped off a very unruly passenger. You're obviously not in the best mood. They ask you how your day is going, and you unload this quick story real quick, and their immediate reaction is, "You're a bad driver, you're rude, I don't care about your problems, I'm going to give you 1 star. And they do so. But then you apologize for going off on them like that, and then you are very pleasant the rest of the ride. Then their mind might have been changed. However, they have already given you the rating. What's more, there's a lot of people who do not like their Uber rides, and by having it at the end of the ride, and they're drunk, and they don't have to wait till after the trip's over, they're not even thinking about it. So they might even go to bed, wake up, not rate you, or they don't even remember what the ride is like, so they're going to give you 5 stars. So there is a potential that you could get way more worse stars if you're picking up drunk people and they are rating you in the middle of the trip because they're drunk and there's something arbitrary about you or your driving style or the method of how you drive the car. All of this, they could give you a bad rating, and it's really not fair. It's not fair, and the rating system has never been fair. I have joined many other YouTubers and Uber drivers where I have called for a thumbs up, thumbs down rating system, or what Uber was playing with originally, where they had a smiley face, a neutral face, and a frowny face. Something way more simple than that. And I've even stated multiple times, the problem with the 5-star rating system, of course, is that it's not nuanced. If you're 5, you're a good driver. If you're 4, you are a bad driver, and it only gets worse from there. And that's not how a lot of people think. A lot of people think that 3 and up is good. Hence why, this is why I brought it up, a lot of the reviews you read for Deadpool and Deadpool 2 are 3 to 3.5 stars. It doesn't mean the movie's bad. It means it's enjoyable, but it's not great by any stretch of the imagination. And that's not how it works with the Uber rating system. If you're 3, you're actually probably abysmal. If you're 1, you're atrocious. Which, in all fairness, a movie star rating is the same thing. 1 star is atrocious. So So again, positives. We'll just wrap this up real quick and recap. You might get more tips. You might get more 5 stars. If you're friendly enough, they might give you a tip and a 5-star like in the middle of the trip, and they will not forget. The negatives, if you're making a bad impression or they're drunk and they don't like you and they're itching for a fight, they can rate you poorly before the trip ends while it's still on their mind, whereas otherwise, you probably drop them off, they probably would have forgotten to give you a rating, and it would not have affected your livelihood. So, this change that Uber made is actually a very, very mixed one for me. I can see it being equally helpful and equally damaging. The only problem is the equally damaging part could easily overtake if you do a lot, and I mean a lot, of late night driving, so be extra, extra careful. If you drive late at night, these star grades, you know, I once in a while get someone who will say, Kevin, you really need to stop obsessing over the star ratings, but the thing is the star ratings do affect the livelihood of drivers, and it is ridiculous that they haven't fixed this yet. I mean, Uber's been around for how many years now, and they have not figured out a good, better rating system. They have not figured that out, and it doesn't look like they're going to anytime soon. So, what do you folks think? I am way more curious about what you think about this particular topic than most topics we discuss on this show. Do you like this? Do you dislike it? I can think of another couple of YouTubers who are probably going to make their own videos. I'm looking forward to your videos. But otherwise, comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos I make, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's completely optional, but even $1 helps make the channel run smoothly. Or you can be a sponsor for the show. Business email is below. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.